you guys, it is me, Laura from Balanced Vitality. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, ages 10, 8, and 3. And today I'm going to share with you a little bit about what we do for language arts right now. So we're doing language arts a little bit differently. And whenever I'm making these videos or sharing these videos, my hope is that they'll kind of help you think outside of the box so that you can feel free to be dynamic in your homeschool and change things up as the needs in your family change, as seasons change, as things change. And also that you can have something that fits specifically your family and your kids and your needs. I hope that maybe you can glean some ideas from what we do. We definitely do not do things the way that they're supposed to be, but we do what works for us. And another thing I want to be clear on, at the time I'm filming this video, this is what we're doing and this is working very well. I tend to batch film, as you can tell with my voice. I think this is going to be my last one for today. I don't think my voice will get me anymore, but by the time this goes live, we might be doing something completely different, but that doesn't make this part of our journey irrelevant because it's very good for what we're doing right now and it's working for us well. So maybe it might work for you well where you are too, or maybe just give you some ideas. But anyway, I'm rambling now, so let me go ahead and get into it. I am leaning more towards a unit study approach on our homeschool just because that works really well for us. And I've been heavily influenced by and learned a lot from Julie Bogart with The Brave Learner. And over the past year, I have done a ton of research, a ton of classes, a ton of courses, just a ton on language arts learning in the classroom and in homeschool and the way the brain works. Unfortunately, there just really isn't enough research done. But aside from phonics, there's a lot of stuff on phonics, tons of stuff on phonics. But once you get past phonics, there's not as much. But I have been devouring everything I can possibly find. And so putting all of those things together, this is kind of what we're doing. So right now I have one child who's going through all about reading. And another one who's going through all about spelling. And we do that as separate from this stuff. However, it will tie in, and you'll see how in just a minute. So one thing that we do Grammar Galaxy. I don't know if you've heard about Grammar Galaxy before, but it is stories about the grammar family, the king and his children. Sorry, my kids are being loud. And they live in Grammar Galaxy and they come across all of these grammar problems. And honestly, I have tried to move away from this curriculum, but every time I talk about stopping it, even if that means that there's not going to be something to replace it and the kids don't have to do that part of the homeschool, my kids revolt. They love the stories. We get the textbook on audio, so they listen to the audio stories and they just love them. So we are doing that still. So every week they will start our language arts stuff. Well, let me take that back. The language arts always start with our read aloud. So we'll do a read aloud. We'll have a read aloud going, but then they'll do the Grammar Galaxy. We'll listen to the story. And often we will have an activity. So whatever the story is, whether it's a part of speech or spelling trick or whatever it is that they're working on, we'll usually do an activity that goes with it. It could be a game, it could be like a scavenger hunt, it could be a fun activity, just whatever. We'll do something that goes along with it to help them kind of cement that concept in their minds. And then throughout the week, they will do the worksheets. They're called missions. So it's a mission. You're trying to help solve whatever the problem is in the story. So they'll work on those throughout the week. And then we also have, on day 3, we do a 4-day week. I will take whatever our read aloud is. This is for our grammar and stuff. Whatever our read aloud is, I will take random sentences based on where we are in that read aloud. And they will look, and sometimes you don't even have to pull them ahead of time. You can do them right in the moment or you can pull them ahead of time. But they will look for instances where whatever concept they're being taught in spelling or reading are being used. If they are learning about when to use AU and when to use AW for the sound of ah in a word, they'll look for that vowel T in the text. They will also look for whatever we're learning about in Grammar Galaxy, the punctuation. They'll look for all of those in the sentences. For my older child, I'll have him correct sentences. I'll leave all the punctuation and I'll misspell some things, do whatever. He'll correct sentences, but we're doing things directly from our read aloud and things that tie in to whatever we've been learning in language arts throughout the week or in spelling or reading or whatever the case may be. And then on the last day, we do a writing assignment that's based on the read aloud. We have currently is we're doing Prairie Thief, and we're about to be to the part where she gets to ride on an antelope. I think it's an antelope across the prairie. And I've asked the kids, if you could ride any animal, what would it be? So they're going to draw a picture of that and write about their experience riding the animal. Sometimes it goes more with the stuff we're learning in grammar. Sometimes it doesn't. But that's kind of the flow that we have for our grammar for the week. We also do copywork, and this counts as handwriting, and this also really counts as grammar and spelling and all the other things. So the first day of the week, I will give them a page that looks like this, and it has their copywork. Now this particular one came from a Brave Writer unit. I make them my own sometimes, I do whatever, and so they'll highlight the punctuation. In this case, they'll highlight punctuation, circle capital letters, and we'll talk about what the punctuation is that they highlighted and why it's there. We'll talk about why things are capitalized, and these will change over time. What they're looking for will change over time. And then in this particular unit, we're looking at adjectives, so they're going to underline any adjective, and we're going to talk about that. So the first day, they just do all the marking and we talk about it, and then they spend between 2 and 3 days a week doing copy work, where they're copying that down in their very, very best handwriting and paying attention to the way the words are spelled. I'll have them sound the words out as they're writing them. They've got the highlighting and the marking already on their page, so that makes it easier for them to transfer that over. And they go back and check their copyright work. If they don't finish a whole passage in an entire week, that's fine with me. I set a timer, and I want them to work for a set amount of time as best as they can. It's not about finishing it, and it's about doing the best they can and paying attention. As we finish up a unit, we take kind of a week at the end, and any writing things that they've done in the unit that they want to really polish and edit and revise and do all of those things with and turn into something really great, we give them time during that week to do that. If there's not something that they really feel like they want to take up to the next level and really complete, then they can choose whatever they want to do copywork on. It can be related to the book. It could have nothing to do with it. It could be from wherever they want to, but they can pick what they do for copywork if they're not working on kind of finishing off a writing project, if that makes sense. And then the last aspect that we do of this, and of course this is aside from reading, and we do lots of read alouds, lots of reading together, and they do the all about spelling and all about reading, but we also do vocabulary. And my kids have a pretty big vocabulary, and I really was on the fence about doing this for a long time. But after doing all of my research, and now that we've moved over to a unit study model, I have found that certain books have words that are used a lot, or concepts or things that are used a lot that may not be things that kids really know exactly what they are. They can figure out from context, but they might not have this working relationship. So we only do 1 word a week, and this is how we do it. So this is what one of my kids did. Our word for the week was grove. So the first day, we read the word and we mark it. We talk about why it is spelled that way, the spelling, and we just really kind of dissect the word as it is. So the second day, they will go to a dictionary or use Siri or do whatever, and they will copy the correct definition based on what we're reading. So a lot of times there's multiple definitions. They're going to find the one that matches what we're reading, what it goes with, and they're going to write that down. And then on the third day, they draw a picture, we kind of review again. And then this goes into in their binders, like their homeschool binders, I have the alphabet tabs. And so this goes where it's supposed to go in the alphabet tab. And then that last day, we will just kind of look back through words that we've already learned and review them and remember them again. So this also helps them with their copywork and copying, gives us a chance to go over spelling and the way that phonics really works in a way that applies. And plus, this is a word that is used over and over again in the book that we're reading. And so if they didn't really know kind of what a grove is trees, like what is a grove? I'm not sure. I think it's this. So then they can be for sure this is what a grove is. And then every time we read the word grove in the book, they know just what we're talking about. Some other words that we've used for this book are privy, for the bathroom. We've used tick because it talks about her mattress, her tick, over and over again. I'm trying to think. Hazel is another one that we've used. Hazel is a plant that is in this a lot. What is hazel? What's it look like? So it gives us a chance to kind of connect to those words a little bit more. So that's what we do there. Put this back where it goes in his notebook. And so that is pretty much what we do for language arts. And the Grammar Galaxy kind of gives us a spine to cover things. I'd be perfectly happy just coming up with my own things based on what they're doing, but they love it, so why change it, right? And it actually is a little less work for me, so that's great too. Win-win. So Grammar Galaxy has been a hit. And you could honestly do this with any language arts program that your child is using. Just do the program, whatever worksheets or whatever they're doing for the days of the week. Pick a writing assignment that goes with a unit study or something that you're learning. You can do Copywork with any read aloud. And if you're new to Copywork or you're new to this concept or knowing how to do this, I highly, highly, highly recommend checking out Brave Writer by Julie Bogart. She's amazing. I love her homeschooling book, is my favorite. I love it. It's been a huge help for me. But they have single issues of Dart, Arrow, Boomerang, and I think they're adding Slingshot, I think 4th level. But they're by grade level or age level, so you pick the right one for your child's age or your kids, your family's age. And basically what they are is they've taken books that are great read alouds and they have chosen out 4 Copywork passages for you. They've chosen out some grammar concepts, they've chosen out some literary elements, they give you ideas of questions, discussion questions you can do. They give you ideas for a party that you can have at the end to celebrate the finish of the book and to have fun, and they're just loaded with ideas, and you can just get one for one book and try it out and see how that is. And then you can take some of those principles and apply them to any book that you're reading. So that's kind of a fun way, especially if you're doing unit studies, to kind of tie everything in together. So that is all my long ramble. That is what we are doing for language arts that is working for us now. And I would love to hear what you are using for language arts. Are you using a straight up curriculum? So I'd love to know what you're doing, what has been working well for you, where have you been kind of catching hang-ups and it's not been working so well. I would love to hear in the comments below, and I hope that you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.